Some Mississippi State students are in search for a new place to live after Sunday night's dorm fire. And after 80 years, one nationwide program is helping MSU students exercise their voting right. And later in sports, Nikki Ariana tells us how the softball team played a doubleheader with their new teammates. We'll have these stories coming up on Take 30 News. Starkville City employees can now include unmarried, same-sex partners on their health insurance. Thanks for joining. I'm Lowell Rose.
And I'm Savannah White. We'll have that and more coming up. But first, our top story. "60 Mississippi State University students from Sunday night's dorm fire are in search for a new home for the next month. Nearly 200 female residencies were displaced after a fire broke out on the third floor in Oak Hall dormitory. The hall sustained water damage along with fire and smoke. MSU officials say 30 double rooms will require the most repairs. The university is allowing students to break their residence hall contracts to move into apartments or sorority houses. Several fourth-floor residents returned to their dorms Monday morning after fire officials reported no damages.
Some Mississippi State archaeology students, spent their summer digging near a war zone. The 43-person team, including students, MSU personnel, and volunteers, were in Israel this summer on an archaeology dig when they were forced to evacuate because of conflicts between Gaza and Israel. The team witnessed several missile strikes between the two countries but they were safe from attacks. They evacuated on June 23rd, just 1 week before the ground war between the two countries. MSU's archaeology department have been sending groups to dig in Israel and Jordan since 1983.
Starkville Mayor Parker Wiseman's veto for the +1 adult insurance for city employees stands. The Board of Aldermen voted 4-2 to limit coverage to only married couples according to Mississippi law. Same-sex partners and unmarried couples can be added to the new insurance policy. The insurance policy was approved back on September 2nd, but later was retabled. The board needed 5 votes to overturn the veto.
The United States Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage in 5 other states. Monday, the Supreme Court removed same-sex marriage bans in Indiana, Oklahoma, Utah, Virginia, and Wisconsin. Same-sex couples can now apply for marriage license within those states. With the recent ruling of marriage equality, bans in other states like North Carolina and Colorado could be overturned in the future. 19 states, including New York and Illinois, currently allow same-sex marriage.
Pontotoc Board of Aldermen say it will at least be 2 months until the new liquor ordinance will go into effect. Several Pontotoc citizens voiced their thoughts on alcohol regulations within the city. Many are concerned how liquor, beer, and wine will be advertised and how it will impact surrounding churches and businesses. The liquor ordinance passed by 2 voted with 832 in favor and 769 against. A beer and light wine ordinance also passed. Aldermen plan to pass regulations at their next scheduled meeting.
With a recent confirmed case of the Ebola virus in Dallas, Texas, Americans are on edge as the top infectious disease continues to spread in West Africa. Medical professionals believe the disease can be maintained with the advanced medical centers across the United States. Some health experts told the Associated Press, even though the U.S. is seeing Ebola patients, it doesn't mean that the disease is present. However, doctors do encourage citizens to take precautions to stay healthy. According to the World Health Organization, since October, nearly 7,000 cases of the RNA virus have been reported.
More than 8 million J.P. Morgan customers' personal information are now in the hands of cyber criminals. Monday, the National Bank reported hackers stole information from 76 million households and 7,000 small businesses. Even though the hackers did not claim personal account numbers or social security numbers, they did manage to get names, phone numbers, and home addresses. Officials say those who use online banking were affected. Police are still searching for the online hackers. JP Morgan is the largest bank in the United States with a company value more than $2.5 trillion.
Coming up in sports, Nikki Adeyana will tell us how Mississippi State is preparing for this weekend in game day in the Junction.
Stay tuned. You're watching Take 30 News.
Based on recent survey, Mississippi is ranked third as worst state when it comes to littering. It is up to you to make a difference.
Seriously, the trash can's right there. How do you miss that anyway?
Do what's right and help prevent littering. Keep Mississippi clean and pick it up.
It used to be about black and white.
Things are different now. We live in a world of color.
We no longer live in a world of black and white.
I
am more than the color of my skin.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can go
All of the lights. You're watching Take 30 News on MSTV 98. Stay tuned for sports coming up next.
Nikki, the MSU campus is absolutely buzzing this week about all of the excitement with College Game Day coming in town this weekend.
I know. I mean, last week we have Tim Tebow and Marcus Spears. This week, who knows what we're going to have coming out.
Nikki, have you heard any rumors, though, about who you think might be coming?
I know a fan favorite is Will Ferrell and Christopher Walken, but I'll have more reason why coming up. Welcome back. I'm Nikki Adeyana with your Take 30 Sports. The MSU Bulldogs have some new and exciting things happening this season. The Mississippi State University football fans have witnessed the start of a historical season with an undefeated record and new expansions at Davis-Wade Stadium. The ticket sales of 2014 season have skyrocketed since the expansion of over 800 seats with an increase of over 6,000. The expansion includes grandstand and lodge seating with field-level suites and outside standing room. The new stadium capacity is over 60,000. The season stands the school record of the most tickets sold. The 100th year anniversary of Scott Field continues this Saturday with another sold-out game against Auburn. For the first time in school history, ESPN's College Game Day will held at the Mississippi State for the Auburn-MSU game. College Game Day is a sports entertainment pregame show that airs live on ESPN. The game will be the second week the Game Day has aired for the first time at Mississippi's two SEC institutions. The Mississippi State is heading off with a big win against Texas A&M, which caused the Bulldogs to become number 3 ranked team in the country, according to the AP polls. ESPN Game Day will broadcast live starting at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. Game Day is waiting to release a celebrity guest for the show. The Ole Miss Rebels are in the spotlight this weekend, but not for just beating number 2 Alabama. After defeating the Crimson Tide 23-17, fans rushed onto the field and tore down both goalposts. This is the third year in a row Ole Miss fans have ran onto the field after an important victory. The school has been fined by the SEC $50,000 and have to replace both goalposts, which could cost $4,000 each. This past Sunday, the Denver Broncos defeated the Arizona Cardinals 41-20. Not only did the Broncos break the Cardinals' winning streak, but their quarterback, Peyton Manning, threw his 500th career touchdown and finished the game with 503. This brought Manning closer to Brett Favre's record of 508 touchdown passes. If that wasn't enough, Manning also tied the record with Dan Marino for having his 13th career 400-yard passing game. With 12 games left in the season, who knows what other records will be broken? The Broncos take on the Jets this Sunday. Cardinals coach stated that Denver Broncos tight end Julius Thomas blocked the defensive end Calais Campbell was, quote, the dirtiest play he'd ever seen during the game which the Broncos defeated the Cardinals, end quote. Thomas laid a chop block to the knee of Campbell, who suffered a sprained MCL and will be out for 3 to 4 weeks. The NFL stated that the play was indeed legal. Thomas was charged an $8,000 fine by the NFL. The softball team played a doubleheader this weekend against EMCC College, with a few new players on the roster. The girls softball team had returning athletes who played a great game this Saturday. Players like Ashley Phillips hit a home run and a double, while Caroline Sight hit a few doubles. Even though the team had quite a few seniors graduate this past spring, the players are optimistic about their spring games.
It's huge. Today we threw all Holly Ward and Cassidy Knudsen are both freshmen, and then Mackenzie Toller, who threw today, threw maybe like 3 innings last year, so she might as well be a freshman in the circle. So 3 young, really young pitchers out there getting a lot of work, and it's huge. It's crucial at this point in the year so that they can figure out where they need to be hitting their spots and what pitches work and when to take risks and when not to take risks and whatnot. So it's been a huge, valuable experience for them, and we'll take advantage of our whole. We get to play 8 fall games, and we'll take advantage of all of them.
The girls will take on Mississippi College this Friday at 6 p.m. at home. October is here, and it's time for the annual Downtown Starkville Pumpkin Palooza. Not only is the annual fall festivities, it's a showcase this season men and women's basketball teams. Basketball coaches Rick Ray and Vic Schaefer will introduce the players as they reveal the new season's uniforms. The Maroon Madness will feature a shooting contest with cheerleaders and volley. Fans will get a chance to win free t-shirts and autographs from the players. The MSU Pep Rally will start at 6:30 p.m. following the Maroon Madness at 7. That's all we have for sports, but stay tuned. Kendra Wright sits down with one of the actors from MSU's upcoming fall play. You're watching Take 30 News.
Based on recent survey, Mississippi is ranked 3rd as worst state when it comes to littering. It is up to you to make a difference.
Seriously, the trash can's right there. How do you miss that anyway?
Do what's right and help prevent littering. Keep Mississippi clean and pick it up.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can go any
All of the lights. You're watching Take 30 News on MSTV 98. Stay tuned for sports coming up next.
Thank you for coming back to Take 30 News. I'm Kendra Wright, and I'm sitting here with Colin Baylott, who is an actor in The Government Inspector, which is a play that opens tonight here at MSU. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, and I want to ask you, The Government Inspector, it was a play published in 1836 by Nikolai Gogol. All right. Exactly what is the play about?
It is about all the bigwigs that are very corrupt in a small rural town in Russia find out that there's an inspector coming to shake things up in their town, and they're kind of trying to cover their tracks, but they're a bit too dim-witted to do it successfully.
Okay, why do you think State chose this play?
Well, I think one reason is there's a lot of freshmen coming in that are interested in theater, and I think they wanted to do a play with a larger cast, and doing a comedy such as this can really showcase the variety of talent there is.
Okay, and the play, you said it has a big cast and it's mostly male dominant. How do you feel about that?
I honestly haven't even noticed. Most of the plays I work on, there are typically more females than male roles. But this cast, the biggest difference for me is just how big it is. I'm used to working with a cast of 15 or less. So I think there's 27 in this cast. So that's been the biggest thing for me.
Really?
I guess the men's dressing room is a little more crowded, but other than that.
Okay, and you say you've done other plays in the past. What is it about this play that makes this play unique?
I'd say the style of it. It's a farce, so it's much more high energy. It's much more over the top. The costumes, the hairstyles, the makeup, everything is just it's out there.
Okay, and I also wanted to ask you, audition started back in, I want to say August. What is it that made you want to audition for this play?
Well, we have a new director directing this play, John Nara, and one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to do this play was I wanted to work with him. I was like working with new people and experiencing different directing styles. Also, I got to read the script beforehand, and I really liked it. It was hilarious.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you, is there any rituals that you do before you get ready for a play?
There is. I like to go find a dark corner off backstage and kind of, get zen and say a little prayer and get into character.
Okay. So before we let you go, I wanted to ask you, do you mind acting out a little bit for us? I mean, we would love to see it.
Yeah, I can slip into the judge for a second. Let me think here. Putting me on the spot here. Okay. But the goslings are about to hatch, and they're so cute when they break out of their eggs. I'll have my bailiff see to them at once.
Okay, and the play opens up tonight. Be sure to come and catch it here. How long is the play on?
It's about 90 minutes.
Okay, and it's tonight and up until when?
It's tonight, tomorrow night, Friday night, and then Sunday afternoon at 2.
Okay, so be sure to come and watch The Government Inspector here at MSU. Stay tuned for more Take 30 News.
I just can't concentrate in class. I'm always tired and can't remember anything going on anymore.
I don't want to hang with my friends. I don't have any energy anymore. My head always hurts.
Don't let this fake smile fool you, or else you will never see my real smile.
You know what you're gonna get? Maddie. Hey, hello, Maddie.
What?
Text messaging has increased 107% in the past year alone.
It's rude, it's dangerous, and downright addictive.
So please, put the phones down. Brought to you by the ICOA, the Interrupted Conversations of America.
Stay tuned for more Take 30 News coming up on MSTV 98.
Welcome back to Take 30 News. I'm Devin Dito with the latest in entertainment news. Child star Raven-Symoné opened up about her sexuality and her race on Sunday. Symoné, who came out as a lesbian over a year ago, is also an advocate for equality for African Americans and homosexuals. During her interview with Oprah on the OWN network, Symoné said, quote, "I don't want to be labeled gay. I want it to be labeled a human who loves humans," end quote. As for her race, the child star from Louisiana identifies herself as an American and doesn't believe people should be classified by skin color. Raven-Symoné plans to be a role model for young homosexuals and African Americans in the fight against inequality. The concert, sponsored by the Mississippi State Group student group Music Maker Productions, featuring ZZ Top, has been moved from October 30th to April 10th. ZZ Top injured his hip and has been advised by his doctors to cancel all tours and concerts through early November. The concert will still be held at Humphrey Coliseum. Organizers say those who have already purchased tickets will still be accepted for the new concert date. For more information about tickets or the new concert date, contact the Center for Student Activities at 662-325-2930. While it may not feel like fall with the cooler temperatures, the season is upon us with Starkville's annual Pumpkin Palooza. The event kicks off Friday in downtown Starkville. The community is invited to dress up in their best Halloween costumes and participate by trick-or-treating at Main Street's boutiques and stores from 6 to 8 o'clock. Festivities also include face painting and inflatable jumpers for the kids to enjoy. For more information, visit www.visit.starkville.org. One of Mississippi's finest blues legends, B.B. King, was forced to cancel his upcoming shows after becoming ill. The 89-year-old Rock and Roll Hall of Famer was diagnosed with dehydration and exhaustion. King gave a shaky performance in St. Louis and in April, and later apologized at his following gig. He suffered from type 2 diabetes for almost 2 decades. B.B. King had 8 gigs left on his current tour, including stops at his namesake B.B. King Blues Club in New York. The popular classic video game Tetris is set to hit the big screen. Larry Kasunoff has announced that Threshold Entertainment will be creating a storyline behind the popular puzzle game. The film is set to be quote, a very big, epic sci-fi movie, end quote. This is not the first time that Hollywood has taken on the video game industry, with movies such as Prince of Persia, Need for Speed, and Mortal Kombat. Previous movies have been known to make millions at the box office. However, a date has not been set for the upcoming Tetris movie. That's all we have for entertainment. Coming up, some MSU fraternities are getting help from a nationwide program on how to exercise their voting rights. That story is coming up next. Stay tuned. You're watching Take 30 News.
The rainforest is home to nearly 2/3 of animal species, and almost half the medicines that we use come from rainforests. But by 2060, nearly all of our rainforests will be gone. So how do we stop it? One way is to recycle. At home, at work, at school. Recycle paper, cans, bottles, and more. Also, save energy by using cold water in the washing machine. Keep your car tuned up and carpool or use public transportation. And finally, spread the word to everyone you know about ways you can save our rainforests.
It used to be about black and white.
Things are different now. We live in a world of color.
We no longer live in a world of black and white.
I
am more than the color of my skin.
Some people think they don't have to obey the rules. But when it comes to the rules here at Mississippi State, you better take notice. Don't think you're above the law, or they'll find you. Nope. You could find yourself on the outside looking in.
Ring responsibly, MSU.
irresponsible, trashy. Stop!
Here's your ticket, ma'am.
But I only have $7.95.
Don't whine. Go pay your fine.
Oh, shucks, I knew I shouldn't have done that.
Keep Mississippi beautiful. Don't litter.
Encouraging Post-it notes covered the Mississippi State University's campus on Monday as part of Mental Illness Awareness Day. Event organizers met on a drill field where students could learn more about the mental illness and how they can affect students. Participants even wrote encouraging words on sticky notes to post around campus. One event organizer hopes that this event will help students who are suffering from this disorder.
1 in 4 college students is suffering with a mental health disorder every day. So they're definitely not alone. One of the 4 people at the table is suffering with something. I personally suffer with probably half the things on the table. So we just want to help people by letting them know it's okay to talk about it.
If you would like to learn more about these types of mental illnesses or get help, log on to health.msstate.edu.
Welcome back to Take 30 News. I'm Savannah White. The Mississippi State University Health and Wellness Department paint the campus pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The event kicked off Tuesday morning in front of the Culver Student Union. Free nutrition advice along with tips on how to self-exam were available for all participants. The event ended with a 1-mile walk along the new walking track around Chadwick Lake. The organizers say the Paint the Campus Pink event is to help spread awareness about the disease. According to breastcancer.org, 1 out of every 8 women in the U.S. will develop breast cancer in their lifetime.
An 80-year-old tradition encouraging voting for MSU's Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, this year's national program was entitled A Voteless People is a Hopeless People. The event was to help remind students about the importance of heading to the polls. Students even got hands-on experience with an electronic voting machine. Organizers believe this event makes students aware of their right to vote. The program has been a tradition of the fraternity since the 1930s.
A recent study shows that the state of Mississippi is among the top 4 generous states in the country. According to the Chronicles of Philanthropy, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Alabama donate the most money to charity. The study shows Mississippians donate $50 for every $1,000 they earn, while Alabama donates $48. Noxubee County was ranked in the most giving county in Mississippi. The state of Utah ranked the top giving state in the country.
Are you smarter than this year's Mississippi State University freshmen? According to the university's enrollment data, this year's incoming freshmen had the highest ACT scores in school history. On average, current freshmen scored a 24.4, which is half a point than last year's incoming freshmen, with a 23.9. Nearly 20,000 students are currently enrolled at MSU.
A single mother in Michigan gets pulled over for a seatbelt violation, but instead of a ticket, the police officer gives her a brand new car seat. Alexis De Lorenzo was traveling with 5-year-old daughter who was not properly fastened in her booster seat. When Officer Ben Hall learned of her financial situation, he decided to help the mother out. Hall met the mother and daughter at the Walmart to buy her a new booster seat. That's all for Take 30 News. I'm Savannah White.
And I'm Lowell Rose. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. See you next time here on Take 30 News.